Hi, I'm Beck and Food's My Life. Now, if you want to master the art of making scones, then stick around and watch this video because delicious scones are coming right up. So despite your previous experience with scones, I really encourage you to make this particular recipe. So if you already make scones and you're good at it, make this recipe. If you avoid making scones because they are one of the trickiest recipes that you know, please make this recipe. The recipe I'm making today is what I call my mum's ultimate scones because these really are super delicious. And once you know a couple of little scone making tricks, it's really not that hard. So many friends I know avoid making scones because they find it quite daunting. It's hit or miss. You know, sometimes they turn out to be like rocks. Not this recipe, not with these tips, I guarantee. And you know what? I'm gonna share one tip with you right away. Whenever I go to a cafe and I order a scone and you see them, they come out, they're really big and they're really white, nah, not a good sign to me, because to me that means they're made on cream or milk and there's no butter. You know that butter makes everything awesome, right? So if you see a really white scone, I don't trust it. There's no butter in that. Mum's recipe involves butter, egg, buttermilk. There's another trick. So listen, I'm going to just dive right in and start making these now. I do want to say though quickly, I've got my oven being preheated really hot, 230 degrees Celsius. That's how my mum does it. I'm just doing what she does. We will put the temperature down right before those scones go in. But anyway, 230 degrees for now. Also, you need to pre-prepare some trays. Now you can do this in two ways. You can use a biscuit tray, just like this one, lined with baking paper. That's gonna work, although your end result is going to be your scones being a little bit flatter. But if you've got like a slice tray that has some sides to it, then I'd prefer to use that because this is gonna guarantee that your scones, when they're packed in there nice and tightly together, are going to cook up, not out. So if you're looking for height, try to find a suitably sized slice tray. You're gonna get a better result, but it doesn't matter. Either way, they're gonna taste brilliant. So the first step is to grab a large mixing bowl, and into this, we are going to sift some plain flour. Always make sure you sift your plain flour or any of your dry ingredients. And to this, I'm also going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of caster sugar, and some baking powder. Sift all of these in together. Now, I like to use a whisk just to bring all these ingredients together. And once you've done that, we add the hero of the scone, the butter. Now, this is chilled, unsalted butter cut into nice little cubes. And I'm using my fingertips now to rub the butter into the flour. This is perhaps the hardest part of making scones, and this is not hard. This is only a little time consuming, that's all. Okay, so it takes a little while, and it's a bit of a finger workout to rub all those bits of butter in. So we're collapsing those little chunks of butter, making sure it's well incorporated throughout our dry ingredients. You know, another little trick to making scones is to always keep your work light. We don't want heavy hands. We want a nice light mixture. We want to keep a lot of air in there. Here comes the next part. We're going to make a little well in the center of our bowl, and we're going to add 1 egg at room temperature that I've just lightly beaten. And we're going to add some buttermilk. Now, I've prepared 1.5 cups. I may not use all of it, but I'm certainly going to use most of it. So I'll pop that in there. Now, using a spatula or a palette knife, I find is best, we're going to just very briefly, very lightly stir these together to bring it together as a dough. Again, we don't want to overwork it. We don't want to over stir. Keep it light. If you think you need to add a bit more milk, do that. We don't want the mixture to be too wet. So we're sort of cutting through the dough just to make sure those ingredients are combined. Now I can see that's come together. I don't want to overwork that. So I'm just going to leave it just the way it is right now. Now on a clean bench or a clean board, you need to flour your surface. And we're going to tip that scone dough out. Now, the idea is we are definitely not kneading this dough. We are just very simply forming it, giving it shape. Okay, and the shape we're after is a bit of a round disc, if you like. Flour as you go if you need to. A round disc, and then pat it down so that it's about 2 to 3 centimeters high. Now we're going to use our scone cutters. We're going to flour our scone cutters first, just to prevent sticking. And I'm going to use a smaller one today. You can use any size you like, but I've worked out that if I use my smaller size, it's going to fit into my tray a lot more tightly. So we're going to just simply cut out our scone shapes, and then we'll put them in the tray. Okay, now grab that tray, grab your scones, and the idea is you want to really crowd them. You want them touching. You want them touching the sides of the tray, and you want them touching each other. Great! How cute do my little scones look? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my temperature down to 200 degrees Celsius. So it was 230, now 200. And I'm going to bake these beautiful little gorgeous scones for about 12 to 15 minutes, guys. It really depends on your oven, whether it's gas or electric. You really need to keep an eye, don't go anywhere. It's not a long time, they're going to cook quickly. So 12 to 15 minutes until they're a beautiful golden brown color. And if you insert a skewer, the skewer will come out nice and clean. That's it. It really wasn't hard, was it? All right, my timer's on for 10 minutes and I'll check it then. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly just whip up a batch of chantilly cream, because you've got to have jam and cream with your scones. Cream is essential. So remember, chantilly cream is just a fancy way of saying cream that's slightly sweetened. And as a rule, what I always do is for every 300 ml tub of thickened cream, I add 1 tablespoon of icing sugar. That's it. So just whip up your thickened cream with that 1 tablespoon of icing sugar, and that's chantilly cream. Done. Keep that in the fridge until you want to serve your scones. Oh, this is so good. Check out my little batch of scones. They are a beautiful light golden brown color, and oh, they smell so good. I can't wait to just dive in. You can smell the butter. Like, you know that even without jam, even without the cream, just a bit of butter on that and it's going to be really tasty. And see, this is the difference, I reckon, between an okay scone and an absolutely delicious scone. I guarantee these are going to be super light and fluffy, not dense. You know how sometimes you go to a cafe and the scones are like really dense and pasty in your mouth? No, these are going to melt in your mouth, I guarantee. Oh, so if you were ever thinking, oh, I don't do scones, scones are too hard, please have a go at this recipe. As you can see, it was not hard at all. Serve them up with a little bit of butter, jam, cream if you can. That's just a bonus, of course. And why not have a go at making these for yourself? And if you'd like to, then all you have to do is check out the description box below, and there you'll find a link to my website. Once you're there, you can find the recipe, and it's only $1. Pay by credit card or PayPal. It's that easy, guys. I hope you make it and I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you next time.